Westpoint is a small town that does big things. There are a lot of local shops and unique dining experiences, but I think we're best known for our antique shops. There are murals around every corner. It brings out the culture and the history and brings diversity and the arts to the community. Howlin' Wolf was born here in Westpoint. Right next to the Blues Trail marker is the Howlin' Wolf monument that people love to get their picture taken in front of, that come from all over the world just to see. Two of the best golf courses in Mississippi are right here in Westpoint. Old Waverly is a classic course, beautifully maintained. It's an absolute gem. Across the street is the new Mossy Oak Golf Course. It's more of a links-style golf course. It is absolutely unique for this area. Take a day trip or a weekend trip to Westpoint and explore and discover everything we have to offer.
Westpoint is a small town USA. It's got around 9,000 to 10,000 people in it. What drew me to Westpoint was the Old Waverly Golf Course. It was a top 100 golf course that I knew would grow to be what it is today. A wonderful facility, great family, and as we lived here, we soon found out that it was a great small town atmosphere with all of the things that you need for a retirement community. Medical facilities, some good restaurants, excellent schools, access to the national air transportation system. You've got 4-lane highways going through it. It is just an easy place to live. Our hospital in Westpoint is part of North Mississippi Medical System, and it's got excellent facilities here. You have Griffin Company that makes the armored vehicles for the Army. Mossy Oaks is one of the cornerstones of this community. You have access to Mississippi State within 20 minutes. Ole Miss is also very close. It's just an hour, a little over an hour away. So the whole equation is here just within arm's reach. The Golden Triangle Airport is positioned almost equidistant between the three cities in the Golden Triangle area. On Delta Airlines, you can access the United States in one hop.
I think the benefits for children here are wonderful. We have very good schools. I think it's just a great place to raise children.
Small town
Yes.
atmosphere that doesn't have a lot of
Definitely.
the distractions, et cetera, that the larger community.
Definitely. Anthony's is pretty much a little Cajun restaurant, you know, and is delightful. And Waverly has a wonderful restaurant here. We have a wonderful area here that with specialty shops. We don't worry about shopping, so. And I just enjoy all the people around us in our churches, you know, in our businesses as well. And so you will see that in the whole area, not just Westpoint, but all around us.
It's just a great place to live.
Pretty much, one of a kind.
Welcome to Westpoint, Mississippi. So glad you're here with a small town with big ideas, lots of hospitality. And we want you to enjoy our city and our county, from the fertile prairie soils here in the eastern part of the county to the rolling hills in the western part of our county that offer bountiful agricultural crops, but also lots of hunting and fishing and outdoor activity. And look, when you finish the day, all you have to do is cap it off in downtown Westpoint, one of our fantastic restaurants that offer blues music, fantastic food. You will have a wonderful time here in our city. We hope you enjoy yourselves. And remember, do come back and see us, please. Thank you.
Why don't you help me cry now? Oh. for the best restaurants and places to eat in your town? Then you're perfectly right at this channel. Our experts have created a list with the best restaurants of the cities, which we share with you in this video. So let's get started. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We would also love to see which is your favorite restaurant down in the comments.
In January and February of 2012, Prairie Wildlife, the conservation-driven sporting estate in Westpoint, Mississippi, will begin hosting the famed Orvis shooting schools. The similar conservation visions have made this partnership one to enjoy. Based on the English Churchill method, expert Orvis instructors will offer both novice and seasoned veterans an instinctive approach to shotgun shooting applicable for upland or waterfowl hunting and sporting clays. Prairie Wildlife and the Orvis Company, because when conservation-driven partners come together, fine experiences are offered.
Probably the horse getting ready to work for you right here. The big white clothes. Yeah, got your call right there. So what's fun, what you know right here? Y'all want to get down to hurry, what's the handle on it? Yes, sir, yes, sir.
I have lived in Columbus, Mississippi my entire life. I have been raised on stories of antebellum houses filled with ghosts and legends. I want to talk about a few of those. Those legends have become one of my favorite parts of my town, and one of the houses in particular has always stuck with me. The Waverly Mansion is actually in Westpoint, Mississippi, a few miles away from Columbus, Mississippi. I want to talk about why exactly this house has stuck with me for so long, as I visited it as a kid, and I also want to talk about the history of the house and what makes it special, the ghosts inside of it. Most of these stories are collections of internet theories and speculations and findings, and I will include the real clips from the tour guide, which is a much more reliable source for exactly what is haunting the house, as he has been giving tours there for a very long time. While the house was abandoned by all life for 50 years, that does not mean it was uninhabited. During this time, the locals would report hearing music coming from the mansion. This wasn't just a case of teenagers breaking in either. It was piano music, and everyone says that these parties were an echo of the ones that used to be held there. There were also reports of seeing the spirit of an Indian riding bareback on a stallion through the fields. This Indian is the ghost of Major John Plitchin. He was orphaned at a young age and taken in by Choctaw Indians and was then buried in Young Cemetery near Waverly in 1835. Another ghostly presence in the mansion is Colonel Young. Guests have seen him appear inside of mirrors, and whenever he appears, he's still in his colonel uniform. Also, after her death in 1991, Mrs. Snow has been seen on the third floor stairs smoking.
Can you tell us about the ghosts that inhabit the house?
Well, the family history has it that she was the granddaughter of Dr. William Burt. According to this story, Dr. Burt was doing some business in town for a few days. Well, his daughter and granddaughter came to stay at Colonel Young's. In the middle of the night, the story goes that the little girl got out of bed. She ran up one of the staircases. Apparently she fell down the staircase and broke her neck. She was only 18 months old. It's interesting, though, that there's the Young family cemetery out there in the woods. Nearby is the Burt family cemetery. Dr. Burt has two granddaughters buried next to him. One tombstone reads, Carrie Ann, age 4. The other reads, Cynthia, aged 18 months. Might have been the name of the girl.
Is that the only ghost that is in the house?
People have claimed to have seen other ghosts. The men do not say they see and hear a little girl. I have met a few of them that say they've seen some of Captain Billy's drinking buddies in the hallway kind of walking around tipsy, and they know someone looking at them and they'll disappear. I have heard stories of a man on a dark horse galloping down the old dirt road.
Yeah.
Some college students said they saw that.
What's that about?
Well, whether he was a soldier on a desperate errand for the army or whether he was a man riding in case of emergency, I don't know. One morning I was sitting here on this front porch and I saw a man riding on a horse all of a sudden. I looked over there and I realized there's a gentleman down the road, he owns a tan horse. He was walking his horse, just riding him, wasn't galloping.
Scary. Yeah. Alden, do you have any questions?
I read something about one of the portraits in the house that their eyes follow you. Is that the big portrait of
Miss Donna Snow? Mr. Timms did it in such a way that the eyes will follow you. A good painter can make that happen. It's not haunted any, as far as I know.
Wow, that's very cool. It's a really, really beautiful house.
It's always felt to me like a friendly place. Whatever ghosts haunt here aren't scary.
Yeah. When I was looking up the lore for the little girl and stuff, I read multiple different theories on who she was and stuff like that. And one of them was that she had gotten her head stuck in between the rails.
There's a version of that. Either way, she broke her neck. There is a version of it where she was climbing up the staircase, got nervous, put her head between two spindles, and her head got stuck and broke her neck. I have heard of cases of children getting their heads stuck in the spokes of wagon wheels. It could happen that way. Stories get bigger and bigger. Sometimes they're retelling, and sometimes people recall things differently.
Yeah, there were also there was an account that claimed that they found records of a little girl dying of, I forgot the disease name.
It was diphtheria.
Yeah.
And I believe that was Carrie Ann. That was the other granddaughter of Dr. Burt that died here. She died here of disease. She was a little older than this child. This little child says, Mama, Mama, like a little girl. I've had people claim that she's moved pennies around the house. I've had some claim that they've seen like a reflection of her in one of these red panes of glass. So things like that.
Now I'll discuss the main haunting. The Snows first started to suspect that there was more to their new home when they heard crashes at night. It is then that they discovered the most active ghost in the house. Mrs. Snow began to hear cries of a little girl screaming Mama. The Snow children would run to their mother and ask if the little girl was okay. She then found that between 2 and 4 on summer afternoons, an impression of a little girl would appear on one of the beds upstairs. She began to keep this bed constantly made up for the girl in case she wanted to take a nap, and that is how the bed is left today. Mrs. Snow then had the girl appear one day next to her in the kitchen. She was crying in pain for her mama, and once Mrs. Snow asked the girl how she could help her, the little girl disappeared. After that, she was never heard crying around the house again.
Mama, Mama. Some say she climbs into the bed up there and leaves the imprint of an invisible body. Other people tell me she floats down the staircase from the third story. A blonde-haired girl in a white nightgown. Family history has it that a little girl was visiting here with her mother. She was only 18 months old. One night when they were asleep, the little girl got out of bed. She ran up one of the staircases. Apparently she fell down the staircase and broke her neck. Never met her personally.
Our second haunt takes us about 2 hours to the northeast of Madison to the ever-famous Waverly Mansion. The Waverly Mansion, which is located just out of Westpoint, Mississippi, is a former plantation home turned historic house museum that overlooks the Tombigbee River that stands as a prime example of antebellum-era estates, and it's shrouded in a chilling range of ghost stories. Historically, Waverly was first constructed by Colonel George Hampton Young, who hailed from Georgia, and while the exact date of its completion is still sort of unknown, it's generally accepted that this formidable residence was finished sometime around 1852. Notably, the Colonel's wife, Mrs. Lucy Watkins Young, would pass on before the mansion was ever fully completed. However, her spirit would live on in the English boxwood tree she'd ordered planted along its entrance. These odd trees are known for growing all of a foot over a 15-year span, and incidentally, Waverly's boxwoods are estimated at around 150 years in age. In its earlier days, the site acted as a self-sustaining community and boasted a cotton gin, a brick kiln, an ice house, and a bathhouse complete with a pool. Over time, mansion grounds would evolve to also host its own lumber mill, a leather tannery, and a hat manufacturing operation. It produced some of the first American-made saddle blankets. In 1880, Colonel Young would pass on, was buried on site, and would leave Waverly to his family. And in 1893, the first fox hunt association ever was formed right at the mansion's grand library. Following the subsequent death of the Colonel's last remaining son, Captain William Young, Waverly would slip into decline. The once prestigious home would be left to stand the tests of time, the elements, and even the occasional plunderer, and would fall rapidly into disrepair over the following 50 years, until 1962, when the site was purchased by Mr. and Mrs. Robert Snow of Philadelphia, who would work tirelessly to restore the once prominent residence. Today, the mansion is owned and operated by Charlie and Dana Stevenson, who continue to honor its legacy. In the present, Waverly remains open to the public and stands as both a monument and memorial to its own unique era in Southern history. Over its many years, the whole of this aged abode has played host to a number of chilling ghost stories, and owners, workmen, and visitors alike have reported a range of supernatural phenomena, including extreme cold spots, encounters with shadowy manifestations, and accounts of objects moving around on their own, or furniture found completely rearranged inexplicably overnight. One more prominent haunting experienced on site was first documented by former owner Mrs. Snow, who reported the apparition of a young girl who would appear, disappear, and even follow her around for great lengths at times, and that always called out for her mother. While the identity of this spirit is unknown, many believe that she may be related to the Young family, though this has never actually been confirmed. In the parlor, some have reported phantom music and laughter heard emanating from the space when it's completely empty. A spectral soldier has been spied rushing past out of the peripheral, and in the gardens, an ethereal rider on horseback has been known to appear and even leave hoofprints in its wake. Lastly, the spirits of the Young family have all been sighted across the mansion and its grounds, sometimes alone and at others together, seemingly acting out scenes from their lives long since past, in a fashion that leaves many to assume they're unaware that they're actually dead.
She's got your eyes, she's got my nose. Whoa, and I get high just watching her grow. We always dreamed we'd live in a castle, oh, but we're in the same old shack. Sometimes we get into a hassle, but we always take each other back. Whoa, whoa, you know this whole world seems to be in a hurry, but darling, we'll just keep on taking our time, 'cause we're living such a sweet life. Oh, what a neat life, sharing my love with you. Such a sweet life, oh what a neat life, making our dreams come true. just holding me tight. We always dreamed we'd make a lot of money, oh, but I don't mind being poor. 'Cause when you make love to me, honey, I couldn't ask for any more. Oh, oh, you know, all our friends seem to be in a hurry, but darling, we'll just keep on taking our time. We live in such a sweet life, oh, what a neat life, sharing our love with you. Always we live in such a sweet life, oh, what a neat life, making our dreams come true. We're making our dreams come true. We're living such a sweet life, oh, what a neat life, sharing my love with you. Will you make it my dream? Living such a sweet life, oh, what a neat life, making our dreams come true. We're living such a sweet life, oh, what a neat life, sharing my love with you.
Independent candidate of choice for Mississippi. Together we can, with a can-do attitude. You know, we were going to hang the moon and make it spin too. We still can. We just need to all remember that we got the seed of greatness inside of each and every one of us, and together we can. TVP2012.org. I am Jill Reed, and I wrote this message as I was speaking with you right here and now in Clay County, Mississippi. Turn it in petitions for President of the United States.
Right there, coming out. There's a whole pile up.
Just get on the other side of that pile right there.
Make sure get down right here on the left side.
They really suck at seeing that bad.
They can't see.
Okay.
They can hear okay. Yeah, look at the size of those pigs. Wind's most important.
Okay.
Levi makes a game plan to sneak up beside the hogs. These animals have terrible eyesight, but they still have a great sense of hearing and smell.
We got a ton of hogs right here. There's probably 30 or so of them come right here. If you can get right here. I'm gonna try to kill that spotted one if I can. Ready?
West Point, Mississippi, USA is in Clay County, and it's a wonderful community. It is the Point City. It's West Point, Mississippi. Let's go downtown on Broad Street. Yeah, yeah. Look at all the houses and buildings and sidewalks in West Point, Mississippi. Say hello to all the friendly citizens of this all-American community in Mississippi, USA. Oh, 39773, that is the zip code of West Point, Mississippi. There's lots of good people living in this fine all-American community. Oh yeah, West Point, Mississippi. Oh yeah, Howlin' Wolf Blues Museum. Oh yeah, Prairie Arts Festival. Let's have a good time with all of the wonderful people of West Point, Mississippi, USA. Yeah. There's no better place in the world than West Point, Mississippi, USA. Let's go downtown and have a good time in the Point City. Yeah. West Point, Mississippi, oh yeah. They got good local government officials, good hard-working all-American people who care so much for their community.